Now, there's a lot of major wrestling news and rumors to share with you guys today, coming out of the 2025 Royal Rumble last night, and we'll start off with the shocking news regarding Drew McIntyre that was revealed earlier today, with reports suggesting that Drew McIntyre was furious after something had went wrong with his elimination from the men's Royal Rumble match. A couple of sources reported that Drew was basically screaming and cursing after he got backstage following his elimination from the match, with the consensus being that an unnamed star in the match was trying to get themselves over and get their moves in at the expense of multiple stories in the match. Now we thankfully have the backstage scoop regarding this Drew McIntyre situation to provide you guys, because according to one of our own sources, Drew McIntyre wasn't the only superstar upset with how the Royal Rumble went down, especially towards the end there. And as far as the unnamed stars who were in Drew's and other stars' eyes trying to get themselves over at the expense of the Royal Rumble, we've heard that Knight and Logan Paul are the ones receiving a bit of backstage heat, as they sort of threw off Drew's elimination from the match at the hands of Damian Priest, as Logan Paul and Knight quite literally bumped into Priest and Drew as the elimination was going down, with Knight and Paul continuing to battle against each other as the elimination happened, taking away the crowds and camera focus from this shock elimination. One source noted that this is what upset Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest specifically, as the thought is that Knight and Paul sort of took away from Drew's elimination, to the point that the crowd didn't react to it to the extent that was expected, because of how awkward the elimination was, with Logan and Knight bumping into them and then taking the focus away from it as they continued to battle it out as if nothing happened. We've been told that the reports of Drew McIntyre expressing his frustrations behind the scenes after his elimination from the Rumble match are very much true and not part of some kind of a work. Drew was reportedly legit angry with Knight and Logan Paul for, in his eyes, ruining his Royal Rumble elimination, which was supposed to be this big moment in the match. Apparently, Drew McIntyre immediately vented his anger to Triple H in gorilla position backstage, and that Knight and Paul were going into business for themselves, with Hunter trying to calm Drew down and make it clear that from his position backstage watching the match unfold, Triple H felt like it was just a mistake and mistiming on Paul's and Knight's part to interfere in the elimination, and that there wasn't a malicious intent from either star towards Drew, or that they were going into business for themselves. One source mentioned that Drew McIntyre was so upset and heated that he didn't even want to listen to Triple H's reasoning, as Drew then reportedly stormed out of the arena and left before the Royal Rumble match even concluded. So yes, guys, it seems as though these rumors of Drew McIntyre being legitimately angry after his elimination from the Royal Rumble last night are true, and Drew's antics behind the scenes after his elimination caused a bit of chaos backstage and forced Triple H to miss watching the ending of the men's Royal Rumble match in gorilla position, as he was busy trying to calm Drew McIntyre down and sort out the situation. Now, as far as Knight and Logan Paul, even though Drew is furious with them, and Damian Priest also reportedly wasn't too happy with the two stars, because while Drew has a reason to be pissed off because Knight and Paul unintentionally took away from his spot of being eliminated, it also took some of the shine off of Damian Priest, who was the one to eliminate Drew. And that was supposed to be a big moment for Priest as well, but we've been told that there is no backstage heat on Knight and Logan Paul from Triple H or other high-ranking executives. This unfortunate situation is being chalked up as being just an unintentional mistake, so no repercussions for either star moving forward is what we've heard. Now, while most fans would agree that Kevin Owens looked like he was the guy who would have suffered serious injuries coming out of the undisputed championship ladder match with Cody Rhodes, if there were any real injuries, as that Alabama slam through the ladder towards the end of the match was absolutely disgusting, but according to new backstage reports, Cody Rhodes is actually also suffering from multiple injuries coming out of the match with Owens last night at the Royal Rumble, and we say injuries with quotation marks around the word. At the post-show for the Royal Rumble, Jackie Redmond provided fans with an update on Cody, making it clear that the American Nightmare is dealing with some injuries, reporting, "I also have it on good authority that the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, is dealing with multiple injuries. I can't confirm the intensity or severity of those injuries, but what I can tell you is that they're bad enough that Cody will not be addressing the media in tonight's press conference. In fact, his in-ring status might even be up in the air as well. What I can confirm for you is that Cody Rhodes will still attend Friday Night SmackDown this week. Now we reached out to one of our sources for some details surrounding Cody's injuries, And if they're legit or not, and we were told that these injuries are thankfully just for storyline purposes and that Cody's not legit injured, neither is Kevin Owens, we have been told. Both a bit banged up for sure after such a wild match, but no injuries that would keep either star on the shelf for any length of time. But like we had reported in our last video, Triple H plans to keep Kevin Owens on the shelf for a while to sell his storyline injuries from that crazy ladder match last night, but Cody's not going to be missing any TV time, we have been told. Nikki Bella was featured as one of the surprise returns in the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble match, and while some of the other returns in the match are just one-offs, with Trish Stratus reportedly being one of them, according to one of our sources, Nikki Bella has actually signed a new deal with WWE and is back with the company moving forward, which means her return last night at the Royal Rumble wasn't just a one-night only thing. It's unknown what kind of a contract Nikki Bella has signed with WWE and how often she'll be appearing on television. But fans haven't seen the last of Nikki by any stretch, and she will likely be involved with some kind of a storyline heading into WrestleMania 41. Now, quite a few wrestling fans were thrown off by Finn Balor's entrance in the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match because of the theme he entered the match with this being the new Judgment Day theme song. And this resulted in Finn getting a pretty lukewarm reaction from the crowd, as really next to no one knew it was even Finn. It seemed like a lot thought it was Karrion Kross due to the similarity of the entrance music. And according to one of our sources, after seeing how lackluster the crowd reaction to Finn's Royal Rumble entrance was, Triple H is now planning for Finn to go back too, using his original theme song when he's working solo matches or doing things on his own away from the Judgment Day, as Finn is much more recognizable with his other music. And Hunter apparently wasn't too happy that Finn basically got no reaction until he was pretty much in the ring, as no one knew who it was gonna be with the new Judgment Day theme. And Hunter also apparently isn't completely sold on the idea that the Judgment Day's new theme is actually an improvement compared to the old theme. Alexa Bliss's Royal Rumble return last night honestly received the biggest pop or crowd reaction of the entire 2025 Royal Rumble show. It was an awesome moment that no one saw coming because of the fact that there had just been reports swirling around days prior that Alexa's return was not going to happen due to contract issues with WWE. And we now have some interesting news to share regarding Alexa Bliss's Royal Rumble return. And clearly those reports of there being issues between Bliss and WWE weren't completely off the mark. Because according to one of our sources, Alexa's return during the Women's Royal Rumble match was apparently a last-second thing. Something that had just came together less than a day before the Rumble took place. Because we have been told that while there weren't issues between WWE and Bliss regarding the new contract demands, the deal just hadn't been finalized until late Friday night. So Alexa Bliss's return in the Rumble match truly was a surprise not only for fans, but even for those behind the scenes in WWE because of how late Alexa's return deal was put together. Triple H was reportedly very impressed with the reaction Alexa Bliss got last night. And there is speculation that creative are now scrambling to put together a big storyline for Alexa Bliss for WrestleMania 41, one that could involve Bliss going after a championship. Well guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.